I am done. I'm done. Thomas will be sleeping over there during this entire intro, just having a little wee nap. But I've roped him in just to say a joint thank you for all of the congratulations on our engagement.
Thanks.
We're not going to start planning the wedding until close to Christmas time, so very open to any tips from married followers, because we haven't a fecking clue where to start.
Everyone can cook one dish each and bring it. And then that's the food sorted.
You can go and lie down now. Go on.
No!
Right, so number one, this vlog is really weird. It is part montage and part get ready with me and part cook with me and some other things. And I'd like to know what you think of the format. It was an accidental format. When I say accidental, I mean unplanned. Because earlier in the month I had a bastard of a day, the kind of day that leaves you off your game for about a week, and it actually made me realise that I need to give up alcohol, drink, Jesus juice. Is it called Jesus juice?
Booze.
Booze.
That's more common than Jesus juices.
More on that later on, but please let me know if you also don't drink. I could really do with some kind of sense of fellowship or whatever. As you know, I live in Ireland and I'm not exactly surrounded by sober people, and I think it's going to be really hard. Let's cheers to this big decision with some no secco instead of prosecco. Baby, help me open it.
Thought I was having a nap. Jesus Christ.
Well, this can be to me giving up alcohol and the fact that Hannah Whitten is arriving today. She's coming to stay with me for my birthday.
Yeah, she's due to land in 16 minutes.
Oh, that's nice. Isn't that nice, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. Regardless of the horrible day, I was really fed up regularly writing wine, 3 glasses, or got way too drunk in my me time journals. And in this video I'll be reflecting on why my relationship with alcohol isn't a great thing. Next thing, real quick, is that the monthly vlog book club read of this month is going to be Don't You Forget About Me. It is by Maury McFarlane, who I discovered through my YouTube pal Lena Norms. She comes very highly recommended, and this book is supposed to be very warm and funny and romantic and has been described as an intelligent rom-com. Don't you forget about me. And yeah, July, we better start July. There was a cute proposal to Thomas over here with a skull ring after he proposed to me, because I didn't like the idea of never getting to propose to someone. We needed the most. He said yes. There were a ton of vegetarian tacos, which I'll show you how to make in this video as well, along with all of the Stranger Things season 3, and that was fucking sensational television. It was probably one of my favourite seasons of any show of all time. And there was a mad trip to London and trips around Ireland that I organised for myself and crew, aka my friends, helped me start making my first ever mini documentary. It's going to be all about loneliness and social media, and it's going to premiere at Buffer Festival later this year. Yeah, it's been mad stressful. I've literally broken out with acne all over my back, which I posted about on Instagram. I feel like it's in some way related to the stress of trying to pull this off. Big learning curve. Loads of things are going wrong. I am not an organised person, but somehow this is coming together, and I'll be able to share it with you guys in October or something like that. It's featuring a lot of YouTube pals, and I interviewed a couple of teachers and everything. I'm really excited about it. I find the best way to bounce back from a really shitty experience is to shift focus onto all of the beautiful little moments in life. There's so much that life has to offer, and there's so many things in the world to be grateful for. And yeah, there was a lot of me concentrating on them things.
Sky holiday. The point is they laugh at what you say, and I don't need no carrying on. Cause you had a bad day, you're taking one down. You sing a sad song just to turn it around. You say you don't know, you tell me don't lie. You work at a smile and you go for a ride. You had a bad day, the camera don't lie. You're coming back down and you really don't mind. You had a bad day. You had a bad day. Sometimes the system goes on the blink and the whole thing turns out wrong.
Right, scrunchies in for me to apply my face, and you'll probably hear seagulls screaming in the background. We're having a hell of a time with seagulls. In my village, literally every morning, this is what I wake up to. Optrex Clear Eye Drops solution first, because Thomas is on earlies flying around Europe. So good part is he's usually home by 11 o'clock or whatever, but bad part, the pair of us are getting up at 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning, and this is his preferred shift, so I better get fucking used to it. They call it the pilot wife life for a reason. So yeah guys, I'm just gonna chat to yous and catch yous up because yeah, it's been a weird month. Really into Elemis skincare at the minute. I'm just popping on some of their moisturizer, but I had like a spa day one day last month, and they used this kind of lavender smelling thing on my face, and I ended up buying a few other products. I'm sure yous know by now I am meticulous with my moisturizers and my serums and my oils and all that jazz. This bloody wonderful Milk foundation stick thing is almost gone. The one I got in New York really recently, I've been using it constantly, so I'm definitely gonna have to order this. Come on, let's get one more face out of you. R.I.P. I had a very, very, very bad day earlier in this month. A very, very, very bad day. It completely threw me off and made me not want to go near a camera. It made me just need to survive day to day and deal with each new moment as it came. I don't know about you guys, feel free to share how you go about this in your own minds, but I categorize my days a little bit like this. So most days for me, thankfully, are days that I would call good days. Days where I smile and I work and I relax and I have just, you know, a decent, productive, okay time. I'm content. Most of the time I'm just content. Using a bit of Benefits Benny Tint now. This is my secret to rosy cheeked goodness. I'm in a very happy phase of life, I feel, right now, and as I've shared before, I don't believe that happiness is just, you know, euphoria like all the time, like every day is woohoo, because to me those are fantastic, amazing, excellent days, and they're rare, you know, like a birthday or getting a book published, getting engaged, doing a whole lot of good to help someone else in a bad situation, you know, just days that really fill you up, and they don't come along all the time, you know, and I'm cool with that. But then of course there are the bleh days, and these are days where I feel like a focusless blob, and I am sure yous all feel me on that. Thumbs up if you do. Shitty brain days, you know, everything just goes by in a blur and you don't really want to do anything, but the very, very bad days, the very, very terrible, horrible bad days, like the one I had earlier this month, they leave scars on me, and they really don't happen very often anymore, thankfully. I feel like I went through a period of life where that was my life when I was about 19. Awful times. And basically I had one of those, and it's one of those things that I'm not going to talk about. A lot of you do understand this. I have an amazing audience. Like, a lot of you guys are fucking very intelligent and fantastic people, but some people definitely think I share everything on here because I film monthly vlogs, 30-40 minute monthly vlogs over an entire month. It doesn't communicate everything. So yeah, I won't go into it. I'll do my best to summarize the days that preceded and succeeded this shit day. You know, it's not going to surprise some of you. I'm sure a lot of you know I like a drink. I'm also sure a lot of you have seen the video I made about alcohol with my sister before. She and I may be starting a podcast, actually. We're in talks about doing an exclusive podcast with a production company. Just thought I'd slide that in there as a little but no, on a serious note, I'm trying to distract from this because I don't really want to talk about it, but I feel like I have to, just to hold myself accountable. It's one of those things that I know if I don't come out and say I'm giving up alcohol, which I'm sure you've seen the title of the video, if I don't declare that, and I know my family and friends watch these videos, as do the people I work with. You know, I often go to events with brands, and then, you know, they'll be like, oh, free drink, and I just kind of want this to be out there because I've already experienced multiple people being like, don't do it until after your 30th birthday, or maybe hold off until Christmas, or but you're not an alcoholic, you don't need to give up alcohol, or whatever else. And while, like almost every single Irish person, I have experienced my fair share of alcoholism, you know, around me throughout my life, I don't think I'm an alcoholic, but I definitely can admit that I have a problem sticking with the limit I had given myself of 2 drinks. And I guarantee many of you have watched vlogs of mine over the years where I have talked about my 2 drink limit, and then I've gone on to get a lot drunk, and usually this is not an issue for me. I'm not typically someone who gets really messy on alcohol or anything. I don't usually cry or get super angry or have altercations or anything. I believe it really depends on the people that you're surrounded by and stuff like that. However, as time has gone by, I've been less strict on myself with my limit thing, and I've been kind of indulging, drinking a lot more than normal, and almost getting to the point of the day where I am looking forward to a glass of wine to take the edge off, and then one glass turns into 2 glasses, and then some nights I'll be like, oh, I'll go around and get a bottle of gin, and oh, we can have gin and tonics on a Wednesday, and you know what I mean. It's this mind-numbing distraction. It just makes me really tired. It makes me feel crap the following day. It's getting in the way of my gym progress. There are so many reasons why I find the relationship that I have with alcohol unhealthy, but the very, very bad day is the kind of day that I'm sure most of you watching have probably had these kinds of days, and it just so happens that drink was involved. I blame 90% of my bad experience on the amount that I drank that day that I chose to drink, so all of it was essentially my own fault, and I am done. I'm done. What I put out there on Twitter was that I'm doing it for a year. My good friend Sarah,
Woo!
she has a YouTube channel as well, and she documented her whole year off alcohol, and I was very inspired by her, and knowing that she stuck to it and did it makes me feel like I can too, which is great. You know, I bloody love my friends. This is Bitch Perfect lipstick by Charlotte Tilbury. I'm doing this backwards. I'm going to do lips and then eyes. And I know that makes a lot of you really uncomfortable. I don't know why. I've decided I'm doing it for a year, but I amn't really against the idea of just never drinking again. I was blown away by the amount of feedback I got on that tweet from viewers of mine who also don't drink for numerous different reasons. Health reasons, mental health reasons, family reasons, relationship reasons, all of the reasons. And they all just sounded like such good reasons. And the drinking culture in Ireland is so, it's a thing, it's a bad, scary thing, and initially I was really worried about my social life. I've always toyed with the idea of stopping drinking or not drinking as much, but it doesn't work for me. I say to myself, oh, I'm going to lay off the drink now, I'm not drinking for a month. 2 days will go by and I will drink, and there's been instances of that in these vlogs and in my Instagram stories where I have said, you know, oh, I'm so fed up of drinking, no more, I'm done. And then like 3 days later, I'm dancing on a table level drunk. I definitely have an addictive personality. I discussed in my first book stuff like porn addiction. I've had food addiction, like sugar addiction. I've had many of the addictions over my 30 odd years on this planet. I don't think I am an alcoholic, based on what I've read up about it. But I do think a lot of people exist on this kind of spectrum where they have an issue with drink. Oh yes, so many of you have been asking me what I've been wearing on my eyes a lot recently, and this is from Zoe Suggs Colourpop line, and it's one of my favourite eye products of all time. This is my second one. Farewell. It's called Bellini, and it's in a kind of concealer container thing, and it's really fun to work with. So I usually just kind of plonk a load of it onto each of my eyelids and rub it around, and then I'll kind of put a transitional colour in the creases. I am over the week-long hump of no drink, and I know that probably sounds so ridiculous to some of you. Like, I know most people don't probably drink every week or multiple times a week, but just recently I have been noticing myself kind of, I don't know why, I don't know, is it stress or is it just that I grew up in Ireland where it's kind of viewed as very normal to really look forward to a drink, you know. If any of you are like me and you've had bad experiences on alcohol, and I'm talking like, you know, over the last couple of years I've had 3 experiences where I have been on the ground vomiting, blacking out. I'm admitting this because this is a sad reality for a lot of people. A lot of teenagers as well do stupid shit like this and live to regret it because then their parents never trust them again. And putting this out there for you so you can learn from my mistakes maybe, or I don't know, like there was this one time in Spain where Thomas and I did not intend to get as drunk as we did, but like he can handle drink. He's like a very broad man and I'm a littler woman, and I ended up asking the taxi driver to pull over, fell out of the taxi, needed to get sick, couldn't, got back to the room, and I like closed myself into the bathroom and I lay down on the floor and I was just screaming. No memory of this, no recollection of this. And then he opened the door to come in and I was like, leave me alone. And I feel like a lot of past issues and childhood fears come out when I'm drinking. It's very common, and they're issues I've never really dealt with in therapy. I've talked to you many times about CBT that I did for my eating disorders, for anxiety, and this is a different ball game altogether. So I've booked myself into therapy. It is stupidly expensive, but I believe in it. I want to take care of my brain in the same way that I take care of my body, and I know there's still a big taboo around talking about therapy. I think that's bollocks. It's not a selfish thing. It's a really important thing for growth and to ensure that you are in as good a place as you can be. First session is on the 5th of August, and you know, in general I am fine. It's just that there's obviously some deep-rooted stuff there that I need to face and deal with, and I'm going to shut up seagulls. Regarding giving up drink, like, a few things have helped me a lot so far. So I watched a documentary on Netflix by Russell Brand. He's one of my favourite people on the planet. I absolutely adore him. Very intelligent and enlightened man, and he was an addict in the past, but he was just talking about abstinence in this documentary, and it just really inspired me. It inspired me to, every time I crave alcohol, to kind of focus on why I'm giving it up. When I drink heavily, I fall far behind in my work. I lose a day, sometimes two, where I just have brain fog and I'm exhausted and my digestion is all over the place. It really flares up my IBS symptoms. It makes me depressed. Alcohol is a depressant. It inspired me to focus on why I want the alcohol in the first place. Like, I always think it's gonna make me have a better sleep. It doesn't. I always think it's gonna make me feel more relaxed. It doesn't. It just makes me feel a bit sick, to be honest. It makes me feel a bit like, I need to lie down. Like, a workout followed by a walk and either a nice shower or a bath and then a cup of tea with like some dark chocolate in bed watching Netflix. That is a lot more relaxing. My brain knows that, but brains are stupid. My biggest tip, really, if you're in the same boat and you're kind of giving it up, is to just find better coping mechanisms. That is much easier said than done. I think you have to do a lot of reading about it, and I am very lucky in the sense that I'm surrounded by very supportive and understanding people, and that is, you know, what we all need. That's why I always encourage people to kind of find their tribe, even if their family kind of sucks. Like, if the family you're born into is kind of shit or whatever, it is in your best interest to put yourself into positions where you can meet new people and bond and make new friends and make those connections that are like people who are going to be there for you through thick and thin, you know, through all the shit. And I have a network like that. I'm so fucking grateful for all of the people in my life. My fiance, my father, my brother, my sister, my fiance's family, like my friends. I've so many people. And sure, like, my dad likes going to the pub and my friends like going to the pub. I have been trying, you know, mocktails, and some of them are really, really good. I also have some friends who don't drink and have just never been into drinking, and that is really helpful to kind of be with someone else on a night out who isn't getting absolutely shit-faced. Like my friend Liz, she's always the life and soul of a party, and she doesn't drink, and she's just so much fun, and it never affects her enjoyment of a night out. I'm sure everyone being super drunk probably annoys her at some point of the night. Like, it'll probably start annoying me, but now we can like bond together. I can't talk while I do this pale pencil waterline thing because it just, I don't know, it makes me look more awake. Give me a second. But yeah, I feel like I'm having a mid-year pre-30th birthday life reevaluation, and it feels good. I feel quite in control, and I'm making this choice to stop drinking to benefit me, to benefit my life. I mean, it's a good time to get used to not drinking anyway, because I'm going into a decade where I'm going to be having children, and while you're pregnant you can't drink anyway. I would find that really hard. I'd probably end up feeling kind of resentful. I know people probably don't admit that, but you know, if drinking is a big part of your life and then you have to stop because there's something living inside of you sucking off of your every indulgence, so yeah, I think it's just time, man. Man, I don't say man. Where did that come from? I'm reading way too many American novels. I don't know why we're blue. But we're going to our friend's 30th birthday party, and I treated myself and I got some alcohol-free drinks, but I don't know if they're going to be disgusting or if they're going to taste like real alcohol. I'd like to have the option to just buy something and feel normal at a party, because one thing that's going to really piss me off is if I'm going to a party or something and people are like, oh, why are you only having water? Why are you being such a dry shite? Because I just feel like that kind of has already happened in messages off friends. You have a piece.
I'm off for 3 weeks.
Yeah, Thomas is off for 3 weeks, so this is a little toast to your ridiculous holiday. How did you end up with 3 weeks off again?
Because it's in my contract that I get, well, yeah, it's in my contract that I get 2 weeks off in the summer, and you're supposed to get them separately, but because I started so late in the summer, they had to give them to me before August. And then with weekends on either side, it ended up being, it's not fully 3 weeks, it's like 19 days.
I'm getting used to wearing rings now. I found all these little rings that I had in my room. My engagement ring just feels like a big glob next to them.
Yeah, kick someone's ass in a fight.
It smells like wine a bit. Doesn't taste like wine. This was a failure of an experiment.
It's got the winey taste, but it doesn't have that sharpness that comes with a wine. Where you, do you know where you go,
sure does taste like wine without the alcohol. It'll fulfill that kind of habitual thing where, you know, if there's some good show on and I want to have a glass of wine and a bit of chocolate, I can kind of trick myself. They have a red one as well. You drink less than anyone I know who's our age, which is a good thing for me.
Don't you want me? You know I can't believe it when I hear that you won't see me. Don't you want me? You know I don't believe you when you say that you don't need me. Trust me and you'll find if you think you change your mind.
Right, so because these are monthly vlogs, I feel like they should accurately represent my life, and there's this meal I've been eating probably every second day, at least every second day, sometimes every day, without fail, either for lunch or for dinner. And it is so quick to make, and it's gluten-free, it's vegetarian, and it's one of the only things that when I eat it, my digestive system's like, there's no trouble, there's no storm a-coming, you know what I mean? Just thought I'd tell you how I make it, because I, for one, get a lot of recipe inspiration from YouTube, and it is time to give back. So here I have the secret ingredient that makes it all so much better. But this is a lie. It's not the real secret ingredient, because the secret ingredient is Doritos hot salsa, and this is the Tesco hot salsa. Says it's fiery and tangy. I've not tried this salsa yet, but the Dorito one was all gone. I was raging. I put a big dollop of this salsa on top of everything, and it ties it all together. So without this, I fear they would be shit. Just saying. I add in some mashed avocado with just a little bit of salt. You can't really taste this, but it adds a lot of fibre, a lot of goodness, and it's healthy fats. And I think the texture goes really well with everything else, because you have the crispiness of the taco shells, which I just kind of warm up really quickly, so that they're not kind of just right out of the box, you know. Into the taco shells, I put corn mince, which I gently fry in a bit of olive oil, and I put a little bit of water in as it's cooking to just kind of like help it come together quicker. And corn mince is just very useful if you're trying to eat less meat like I am. And yeah, I've said it before, but the main reason I'm trying to eat less meat is just for environmental reasons. We do have amazing like grass-fed and organic meat here in Ireland, and I do still indulge on occasion, but the majority of the time I go for the veggie options. It's just easier as well, because my partner Thomas is vegetarian. This would be vegan apart from the fact that it has free range egg in here, but the main ingredient in this is microprotein, so I believe it's some kind of fungi or whatever. I don't think about that, I just think about it as mince. And while she's cooking, I add in some of the Eau del Paso seasoning mix. It's not rocket science, I'm not an amazing chef or anything like that, but trust me, they're so good. I find that this has become my fallback meal alongside lentil pasta with tomato sauce and parmesan. Of course, for the veggies, I usually stick a little bit of salad on the side, just tomatoes and leaves and a bit of bell pepper, and it's feckin' yum. It's so yum. I'll usually eat 3, 4. If I'm starving, I'll eat 5. But it's I'm gonna stick this on, and then we're gonna talk about Love Island for a quick sec. I really do just eyeball this, because I don't track any macros or calories or any of that bullshit. I eat intuitively, but yeah, it's not like this is unhealthy. You don't ever have to really watch your portions with healthy food, in my opinion anyway, because I feel like if you just eat to your heart's content healthy food, you get full up. Like, you're never going to sit there and binge eat 500 apples. I would binge eat 500 Pringles. So yeah, there's certain foods that I don't know, they're satiating, and I don't believe in monitoring the portion sizes of those filling foods.
Ooh, it can't be wrong. Take my heart and make it strong.
Just know now that this is a really messy meal to eat, but it's sex. The reason the guitar is still out is because myself and Thomas are in the middle of practicing a song to perform at my 30th, because we're doing open mic. So loads of my family are really, really musical, and everyone is going to be, well, not everyone, they don't have to, but most people are going to be performing stuff. And I was just like, I'm not getting up there on my own. I have such a fear of singing in public, which is weird because I do YouTube and I can speak in public and stuff, but for some reason getting my voice out is really difficult for me. Yeah, I'm gonna go enjoy these tacos and then prepare, because Hannah Witten is coming to stay with me for my birthday party. I'm so excited to have her here. She's a YouTuber as well who is a longtime pal of mine. But I just wanted to comment really quickly on Love Island, because I got really sucked into it after being very judgmental about people who watch it. You know, every time my sister or like Thomas's little sister or anyone was watching it, I was just scoffing my nose, and I thought I was like better than them for not watching such trash television and everything. It just looked like the biggest load of shit. And I know there's been kind of a lot of controversy linked to it as well, because people have kind of come out of it in the past and felt very depressed because the public have been really nasty to them. And I just had a lot of negative associations with it, basically. And it was about halfway through the show this year, and I got very, very, very sucked in. And I've thought a lot about why, and I know why now. It's a microcosm of the dating world. Yeah, we see ourselves represented in there, in how people react, in the friendships, in, you know, situations where there's toxicity, you know, and the show kind of gets people talking about subjects like gaslighting, which I went on a big rant over my Instagram stories on, because I've experienced with gaslighting in past toxic relationships. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go and follow me. Also, because the world is on fire right now, it's just really nice to watch something where you can kind of turn your brain off, you know. They just kind of hone in on the relationships, and they leave out a lot of conversations about serious stuff and politics and body awareness and just all that serious icky shit that clogs up our brains. The show is just this weird fantasy reality where everyone is just living in this tiny space, so everything is super amplified, everything is like sped up, because, you know, you're spending 24 hours a day with a person, so a relationship in there that lasts 2 months is obviously very, very intense. So I don't know, I got super hooked into it. I'd love to know what you think of it. Are you like team Love Island or team fuck Love Island? Amber and Greg won last night, and I did really want Maura to win. She is a feisty, fiery Irish queen, but Greg, you know, representing the Irish, gorgeous man, very charming, such a gentleman, such a lovely guy. Was really happy to see him win with Amber, who deserves the best in life. Yeah, I don't know, part of me wanted like Maura to win and Ovi to win, and it was just, don't know what to do with myself now in the evenings, because that's been my go-to at 9 p.m. every single night. Gonna go eat my tacos. Make sure you read the book of the month that I mentioned in the intro and is linked down below. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, because I can't explain how much that helps my channel to reach new people and stuff. And yeah, I'll see you in another video very, very soon, lads. Goodbye.